Okay.
All right, so we're recording now. So this is well, it's actually our third session because we did
I know.
sessions on the roots. One of those is publicly available, so you might just be watching that. Depends where you found us from. So Sam is one of our master spiritual life coaches and energy psychologists. She's doing my master diploma. So part of the master diploma, you get to use the 7 steps to spiritual alchemy coaching program, and that's what we're demonstrating for you during these several weeks. So we've done 3 sessions, even though we're only on the 2nd chakra, so the sacral chakra. The reason that we did 2 sessions on the root was because I felt like from the first session, it was clear that the foundations, the imprinting, the early connections to family was such a catalyst for the needs that had played out in you that were affecting your relationships now, your boundaries in career, your self-care as well, your needs getting met. So after the first session, which we didn't share because sensitive stuff came up, totally respect that. So that's just kept on our training platform. We gave you some exercises to do. So that was a gratitude letter. So it's from the future self, where life's turned out perfectly for you, to the now self. So you can plant that seed. The subconscious mind is the servant of the conscious mind. So whatever seed you plant by your thoughts and imagination, the subconscious mind has no option but to play that out in this quantum energy field that is malleable and we create with our thoughts. So you said that was a great exercise for you to do that.
Yeah, it was a really great exercise, and something that I will take forward as a coach
Yeah,
for my coachees, if you like.
yeah,
Something that kind of like maybe some kind of journaling from where you start and then where you want to be, like, and then
the
yeah.
end. Yeah, start with the end first and then
Yeah,
work back to
yeah,
where you are.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
see
yeah,
that, you know what you need
yeah,
to do and what you
yeah,
need to change. It's such a simple thing, but we never do that, do we? It's like,
no,
going to start where I am now, and that's full of problems and setbacks and limiting beliefs. Well, let's bypass that. See your life as you want it. Get into that state, and what that does is it opens up your DNA actually through the emotions, the positive emotions that you emit. And when you're emitting positive emotions, your right brain, your creative brain switches on, and that side of you finds solutions. It's creative, its job is to find solutions to problems. But when we're stuck in the left brain, focusing on how am I going to sort this out, then sometimes you can't find the problem. You can,
mm,
but it can feel a lot harder.
yeah, yeah,
That was a good exercise. I like that. So well done. And yeah, definitely use that with your clients. And we did the male and the female energy and how you're projecting them out into your reality and your relationships. And that's just through learned behaviors, it's from needs, etc., etc. So we did that. You can watch that back. And what else did we do? Was there something else?
we looked at I chose some affirmations. I looked at how my female and male energy was playing out in my current life. Yeah,
And we did chakra alchemy as well. So
we
this
did.
is a new
Yeah.
thing that I've developed, chakra alchemy. But I'm going to do that today while you're in meditation. And what chakra alchemy does is it allows me to see what frequency we need to raise you to break free from your current state. We do it through different techniques such as color and an invocation to planets. So for me, my philosophy is as above, so below. The planets are rulers or gods. They govern different aspects of our chakras and organs. And for me, they play a big role in the energy that we feel down on this earth field. So we do a spiritual incantation to them to help us and guide us. But also, I find what is blocking you and what area of life is currently being blocked through your core beliefs and emotions and who that might be associated to. And with the spiritual treatment, which will show you, find a way to release that through raising your vibration. So we're going to work on the sacral, which is all about emotions. It's a lot of things, but if you bring it into one thing, it's about emotional balance or emotional instability. So I really did enjoy reading your form for that. So you've got a workbook that you fill in. And I really did enjoy reading it. It was quite lovely to read because and I just feel like if you'd have done that first, it would have said a different story. If we'd have given you the sacral book workbook at the start of the session, I feel it would have been a different story because I felt an empowered Sam coming through, a healing Sam coming through, one who's kind of made a little switch
Yeah, yeah,
come through. And I think it just would have been so different had we have given you that on the first
yeah,
session.
yeah. It did feel like it came from a different place, like filling in the root workbook compared to filling in the sacral workbook. It did feel different.
Mm, yeah,
Um,
I felt that.
yeah,
Yeah, and I thought, oh, she's really kind of on it now. She's on this journey of self-empowerment and she's getting it.
yeah, yeah,
I really enjoyed reading it. And also it sparks something in you, hasn't it, from the past where you love to journal, you love to read and write. So,
yeah. I remember, and it's funny because I've not, until doing that exercise, I've not remembered. I used to spend hours just write. I had like little workbooks where I'd just write stories as a child,
oh, wow.
um, for no reason whatsoever, just because I like to write.
Yeah.
And I'd forgotten all of that. That I love to write. So yeah,
You're obviously a very creative person because you like to dance as well.
yeah,
As a
I
child. This is
love it.
sacral chakra stuff. Obviously, solar plexus as well for the confidence to put it out there. But when we're a child, so sacral chakra is like the ages of 7. So root 0 to 7, sacral 7 to 11. Normally, depending, but normally we'd have the confidence to dance,
Mm.
do that, unless you've been really manipulated, put down. But you had that creativity. That's all sacral chakra stuff. So to me, your sacral chakra is your most feminine, God-given gift of wisdom.
Yeah,
That's what makes us different to men because we can connect the higher self, the heart, and the sacral wisdom. So for you to be able to express yourself like that as a child, your sacral chakra must have been really, really like balanced, really open, really flowing. Obviously, life situations can distort that, but what it sounded like is you were really on point where your sacral chakra is concerned. If you can open that back by balancing it now in your adult life with bringing back the creativity, such as things that you just said, how does it make you feel when you are creative and expressive? Because I know a part of it was you were held back emotionally, but thankfully
yes,
you had that outlet.
yes. And I think I said this like when I was completing it, although I was doing it from the sacral space, I kept being pulled to the speaking, like the throat chakra.
Because you
It
could,
felt very much like I was saying around the emotions and not being able to speak that.
yeah,
Um, but in terms of doing this exercise and how it made me feel, it was a nice thing to do. It was a real nice reflection and to remember those things that I did love to do, and how I can bring those back in now, like to my like my daily life and my living, so that I get that same. It's like as a child in that space at that age, like I say, the writing, you lose yourself in the process of just writing.
mhm.
um and I do still get that as an adult, but maybe it's not so much. It might be I'm reading a book and then I'll feel that generally when I'm about to go to sleep in bed, and so I don't get up and write, but that's the inkling is there, the inspiration is there from what I'm reading, and I'm like, oh, I must remember this for tomorrow so I can write, and just kind of write about it from the heart, not from the head. It's from that heart space that you get the inspiration and you just want to blurb it out. Might not make sense, but you just want to blurb it out.
How important is all of that you've just said to bring into your current life? Like, what difference would it make if you were to just open your heart to your creative side? What difference might it make to your life if you do that?
I think there'd be more spontaneity.
Yeah.
There'd be and when I do it, it gives a feeling of expression. It gives a feeling of it's just fun. There is the fun there because you're not writing for any reason. You know, like part of this program, I'm sitting there thinking, right, okay, I'm going to have to sit and write the copy for my website. You know,
Yeah.
that comes from up here, and there's a reason I'm doing it, and therefore I haven't done it because I'm thinking about it too much. But if I could just open up that space and write from, well, just write. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter if nobody's going to read this bit, but it might be the basis of what follows, you know? So, yeah. And I mean, what it's done so far, they're doing this exercise, has opened up more ideas of things, not to fulfill a need, but just things that I want to do, ideas that I want to create.
Yeah. And how's that made you feel by doing that?
Excited,
Yeah.
occasionally a bit like, shit, you can't do it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, excited, and just in my mind I have a plan formulating, you know, like, okay, well, can't do it all right now. This is something I'd love to do, but maybe I need to just put that over there for a little bit, and then do this first, but work on that once I've done this. So the logical brain is coming in because I can't
Yeah.
do it.
Well, that's totally right. So how has it changed things for you on a personal level and maybe in a relationship state of friends, family? How has it changed things for you from a place of feeling, I know I need to change, but I just don't know how to do it, to feeling like, oh, actually, this is alivening something in me and it's opening up channels that means my creativity is coming through and
Mm,
I'm able to be creative with ideas and use my left brain to form a plan around things. So it sounds like you've gone from a place of feeling a bit stuck to feeling
mm.
more open. How would you describe it?
I think that's a fair representation. Um, I think also the worry has gone,
Mm,
like the worry about doing something when you're just doing it because you love to do it and it's coming from the heart. The worry about what you're going to, it's like the process of doing it is what drives it versus the outcome of doing it and why you're doing it. And it's just opened up I don't know. I think I'm just
mm,
less anxious, less masculine,
mhm.
more more flowing, like less lists, less ticking off, like sense of achievement. A bit more like, oh well, okay, like a bit more flowy, and just go with it. It is what it is, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And yeah, so I think that's probably the biggest switch in terms of my day-to-day living that I've seen, is that there isn't so much of the go go go, you know, achieve, got to get this done, got to get that done.
Yeah.
um
And ultimately, if you could sum it up in one word or one emotion or one statement, what's that done for you? or what's it made you feel?
Oh, there's loads of things that are coming into mind. Picking one. Probably say open.
Yeah, open. Good.
Yeah, open.
Yeah. Okay.
If I had to sum it all up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How important do you feel this connection to your creative side and this realizing you can let go of certain pressures and stresses and anxieties and step into a different flow, a different energy by giving yourself permission to do it? How important do you think that might be in your career and how you go forward and help others?
Huge.
Yeah,
Huge.
I feel that too.
Yeah. Because I don't want to go back, but I feel like I need to go back to say how it's come forward, you
Remember
know?
how it was.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. Yeah. So
I,
that, like, that neediness wouldn't be there. It wouldn't be there because you're doing it from a different space. You're doing it from to gain something. Gain is the wrong word, but you're doing it for the process of doing it versus getting something from the process.
yeah. I think I feel that what you're saying, and I don't know how to put it into words, but what you've kind of tapped into and awoken within you has got a huge role to play in your path and purpose. I don't know how, but I just totally feel that it is. And I don't,
Yeah,
we never even discussed it before, but I
yeah.
think it's like massive, and I don't know how it's gonna, I think it's gonna play out in a way that you don't expect it to just yet.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, so it'd be really interesting to see how it unfolds, but I guess the nugget is now, it's there now, it's, awoken, and it's your job now to expand on it
yeah,
and work
yeah.
with.
And that is exciting. Whereas, again, remembering before, it's like the lid was tightly shut, like, but it was bubbling, but I
Mhm.
didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And now it's like the lid's off and it's all out in the open and it's all out there, and it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and this sacral chakra, who's probably beaming when it was a child, doing all this
Yeah,
expression, and yeah, I get there was issues around being able to verbalize. So it'd be interesting to see what comes out in the root chakra workbook. But from a sacral chakra place, your sacral chakra was flowing, and so often it's not. But as a child, you remember that, and it's a gift
mm,
that you have. So now it's time to blast everything open again and to
yeah,
allow those energies to flow, which is why we spent more time on the root, because unless we solidify that, and I always say you're the architect, you'd never build the house of your dreams on sinking sand. You've
yeah,
got to get the foundations right, and that's via the root. Now we've done that. That's always going to be a work in process by
yeah,
the awareness that's been made, the work that you've started, and always the conscious awareness when anything might be just
absolutely.
becoming
Yeah,
unbalanced in that area. So now we're solidifying the root. Now we recognize what the sacral chakra is yearning for, and that's creativity, self expression, free flowing energy. It makes you feel abundant because you're open, you're living in a different
yeah,
space,
yeah,
you haven't got the stresses and the critic down your neck,
yeah,
making you feel you've recognized your unmet needs,
yeah,
about the family situation, about having that need to feel wanted,
yeah.
and how that's played out in your life.
I
You've
think something you just said there, just kind of like that inner critic, the
recognized.
inner critic from the sacral space, like when I am creative and I am thinking creatively about all of these ideas and what I want to do, where I want to go, and what I enjoy and what lights me up, that inner critic does come along,
Yeah.
but it's almost like I hear it, but it's not, doesn't stick around.
Mhm.
It's it's not given the time
Yeah.
to kind of get into your roots, you know, like you hear it because you're doing it or you're thinking it from a different place, because you're not doing it to meet a need or an unmet need.
Yeah.
You're doing it for the love of.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if, you know, like I said, it doesn't matter what you do with it or where it goes. The process of is what you're getting out of it. So
Yeah.
it's like the inner critic comes along and starts to say, oh, who do you think you are? You know, like, are you good enough? You can't do this. But then it's not given the space to be able to grow from there. And it's like, okay, I hear you, but I'm going to do it anyway because I love doing it.
Yeah. And do you want me to explain why that is happening, or do you
Yeah,
know why that's happening?
yeah.
Okay, so
Um,
go
yeah,
on.
no, explain it to me.
No, go on.
I think because it's about the reprogramming,
Yeah.
and the pathways are being reprogrammed, but you've got to continually reprogram it and make it stronger and reinforce it
Yeah.
until you don't hear that, or you literally say, okay, thank you, bye-bye, and it's gone.
Yeah.
You know, so it's still a work in progress, whereas before it would have been given more time because the pathway wasn't even meeting. Like the subconscious is rebranding, if you like, and so it just needs to be given that reinforcement. That's what I think is happening.
That's exactly what it is. Well done. See, that's amazing. That's so good. So that's the knowledge that you can give to your clients when they're trying to change and break free
Yeah,
from a program. So the unmet need was on red alert in the brain,
yeah,
in the limbic
yeah,
system of the brain, which is about keeping you safe and surviving. And that was, I need to survive by being wanted by other people. And these are the ways I'm going to get that need met, which you recognize. So every time you've asked me, how do I change? How do I get rid of this? Do the work. And doing the work is becoming the person that you want to be.
yeah,
So and I think one of the exercises was list the characteristics, the person that you want to become. If
yeah,
if you had an app and you were going to create the person you want to be, what qualities, what values, what characteristics would you put in the future Sam?
yeah,
And figure them out, know who you want to be. It's the only way. And then be it. Just be it.
yeah,
Even if it
yeah,
feels like you're acting for a bit,
yeah,
just
yeah,
be it until it feels so natural that when that little fear-based brain just pop up to say I'm feeling a bit unsafe, you can recognize that actually it's okay, because look at me now, I'm being this person and it's bloody brilliant.
yeah,
So rather go down this path,
yeah.
go down the old path again. So you're totally
Yeah.
right by that. What came up for you then, apart from that, through doing the sacral chakra workbook?
Apart from it felt a nice thing to do, whereas versus the root chakra all felt a bit heavy. This felt a lot lighter, and yeah, it was a nice exercise to do, to be able to recall the things that you did as a child and how that felt as a child. Like I said, the relationship between the creativity and the voice, I think I know we spent a lot of work on the root, and I think I know that there will be probably, who knows, but there will probably be a lot that comes up in the throat chakra. But who knows, the work that I do until we get to that point, it might all be done by that time. But yeah, no, it felt like a nice thing to do, to remember the fun and the feelings and yeah, the carefreeness of it. Yeah.
When I tuned into you, because I like to, when I'm working with energy-based systems, as I will be in a bit, the chakra alchemy, I always like to tune into your energy. And when I do that, I tune into my guides, and then I tune into you as well. So what I got was the male energy feels really, really good, really balanced and strong, like really supportive. You can dependable, really good. The female energy, I couldn't figure out what I was picking up. It feels, I thought, oh, I didn't know if it was an old, like what it, the energy, the visual that I got was an old woman. And I wondered how you were feeling about that. Were you tired? But then I thought, I think why that's being shown to me is a wisdom that's coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I related it to. It was a wisdom that's coming through. Now, the kind of giving and receiving energies, it feels like you aren't quite used to receiving, and it's almost putting you into a childlike state where you feel a little bit is it making you feel, if somebody wants to give to you, is it making you feel a little bit uh you don't really know how to accept?
Historically, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know whether this fits in here. Yeah, because it's more emotion based. But
Oh yeah,
that,
yeah, it's emotion. So it's when you kind of, somebody wants to give you something and you might
yeah, not
feel,
like a gift. Somebody wants to give you,
yeah, give to you, like
yeah,
anything, emotion,
yeah,
not a gift particularly, but makes you feel worthy. I am
mm-hmm.
gonna do this for you because I love you, type of thing. And it's what I'm picking up is the energies that like making you feel really like, oh, should I,
Yeah,
oh my God, like,
yeah,
is that
yeah.
happening recently?
No, not recently. Historically, yes.
Yeah.
Um, it's like I suppose the flip side of all the creativity and the nice stuff in the sacral chakra is there was this also this other side of like, you don't need anyone in your life. It's all about you. You can only depend on yourself.
Yeah.
Don't rely on anyone else. Be Miss Independent. Because that was how my mum was brought up, and that came through a lot in my childhood. That, like, and crying and showing emotion was very much seen as a weakness.
Yeah.
So when you got shown that emotion back, you didn't know what to do with it. It made you feel like not very comfortable. Even like to the simplest things of a praise, like, oh, you've got
Yeah,
really,
that's what I mean, that kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
How have things changed, or has anything changed between you and hubby?
Oh yeah, massively, massively.
Is anything
Um,
around that where he wants to give to you more, or he's showing you and maybe more affectionate, let's say, that's the only way I can describe it, where it's making you feel like a girl again?
I think the difference is, when we first met, it was very much barriers up, don't need anyone. I'm very wary of people wanting to come into my space because they only need me. I'm
Mm,
only going to, Miss Independent. Da, da, da. Um, and it's funny because one of my top values is honesty and trust.
yeah.
That's like right up there. This number one, number two, and it's like people have to earn that,
Mhm,
um, before I allow them
mhm.
to give me that emotion, or for me to accept that emotion, um, or that praise or whatever. So when we first met, there was very much this barrier, like, I'm not letting you in, I'm not letting you close. And then over the years, that trust and that honesty has been built, and the barriers are wide open for him. So, but he's very much he would be a nightmare to coach. I'd
Well,
love for you to have a session with him.
bring it back to you. Your energy is what I'm sensing is something around your receiving energy. So this is you receiving from other people
Mm.
is making you feel quite girl like.
More
Maybe the word
recently,
would be
probably so. In terms of my relationship, yes.
yeah, more feminine, more
Yes.
girl like, more
Yeah, because I'm allowing it. I'm more open about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's more like oh like like blood, oh I'm flushing, or
Yeah,
that
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
like
yeah.
oh god I feel like and that means that your defenses are coming down big time. But I
Yeah.
get a sense that it's making you feel like really young, like girly.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose to a degree. I think the changes that the work that has been done, it's probably been quite a recent thing. Like before there would be like this masculine,
Yeah.
like bouncing. Whereas now there's not so much of that. It's more like, okay, if that's coming my way, I'm going to take it.
Yeah. So your dynamic with relationships at the minute, is that how would you describe that relationship change because of the work that you've been doing?
There's more love.
Mm. How does it feel to accept that?
Warming, but that's only because there's that trust.
Uh-huh. That works
Um,
both ways, right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, absolutely. How does it feel? Though, if I'm really honest, although it feels nice to accept it, and I do accept it, and it does feel nice to accept it, there's also this little bit of me that's like, I still don't need it. I don't need you to love me
Mhm.
for me to justify who I am, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not in necessarily a negative way, but like, okay, that's lovely and I accept that, but equally, I'm not dependent on your love.
No, but in that space of thank you, that's lovely, and you feel the love, you're open to it and you're receiving it, how does that make you feel? Are you saying you're still in a space of defensiveness?
Mm, I'm not in that space, no, but there is a very little slice still of that there.
And what is that doing to your level of receptivity?
It's not fully accepting it,
Okay.
because there's still this, but I wouldn't say that's what I'm aware of when I accept it, but just that's what's coming up just talking about it now. I can feel that there is that very little percentage of still, I don't need your love
Okay.
to, oh, I don't depend on your love to be who I am, kind of thing.
Okay. And does that make rational sense when you think about the person or the energy that's been given to you? It doesn't make rational sense.
No.
Okay, so this fear-based belief that's still running its program through you, where does that take you right back to?
Probably back to the root, probably back, yeah.
So what age would you be when you first formed the belief, I don't need your love? Or what is the belief around it?
I don't, maybe not the root, maybe it is in this space, because I feel like it's coming from a point of that independence, rather, you know, rather than I'm not worthy. It's not coming from that space. It's coming from the space of you can only depend on your, you know, that like weaving in that, you know, you've got to be a strong, independent woman. You can, you know, to be successful, you've got to do you. You can be anything you want to be. You don't need others to, you know, pick you up and elevate you in the world. So I think it comes from that point.
If you were to finish the sentence, if I let people in fully, what happens? If I fully let people in, people will, they will, he will.
Oh, that's a really, I can't come up with an answer.
Just tune in to your heart, tune into your sacral. If it helps, close your eyes, go within for the answer. If I fully let people in, they will.
It's not so much what they will do to me. It's more that I don't need them.
Okay, so.
But I don't, going this way, I don't want.
So a need, you don't need them. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But if you're not fully open, there's a part of you that's still, well, thanks, but no thanks. I'm okay. Why is there a need, your perception of that you would need somebody? It's a needy need, the need of neediness, by fully embracing and accepting somebody's love, or however that comes through, just for what it is. So there's a kind of an agenda.
From me or from them?
You feel, I don't know if it feels from you to them, they or from you to, there's something within your programming that doesn't fully see people for what they are.
I think maybe that might be it, though, that I do see them for what they are. And it's maybe when that thanks but no thanks comes up, it's like, you're not being authentic. Like, I don't feel, you might be giving me this, whatever it is you're giving me, but it's not authentic. It's not coming from a place of honesty. So there's that, oh, thanks, but.
And is that always true, that they're not coming from a place of total honesty?
No, it's not always true.
Okay,
No.
just stay with that. It's not always true. So what we're trying to do is trying to evidence-based brain. Like, your brain needs evidence, needs facts finding.
Yeah.
So all this is just old beliefs that have, but you've got a belief. The brain will look at the world and go, make my belief true, make my belief true. Yeah, make my belief true. Yeah, I'm right. So for you to get rid of this, you need to be evidence-based and go, well, actually, it's not true. These are the facts. Do I want to keep hold of this untrue belief?
Yeah.
So there's a part of you, is what I'm saying, is keeping, you're still holding back.
Yeah. But when I say it's there, it's a very small, It's a very small percentage.
I get it, but that percentage can grow if this belief is
Absolutely.
still in
Yeah.
place,
Yeah.
because shit can happen. And if it's a belief and something
Yeah.
happens, you'll just keep saying, that's why I've got that belief. I am
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. That's going to keep me safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
won't fully give you the experience of life that you want. And from the root chakra, it's about relationships and deep connections. That's where the real
Yeah.
underbelly is in that deep connections with people. So there's still a part of you that is not fully able to receive people as they are.
Yeah. I think it comes back to that. I think it does come back to the root, and that dishonesty part of a relationship that I thought was true that wasn't.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. But say, you might tar everyone with the same brush.
Yeah.
This like comes down to you know, you're trying to build a life where you fully know who you are and what you want to be.
Yeah.
And it might be that you say, well, I want to keep that part of me because it keeps me safe. But then you have to realize, well, what are the consequences of that? And what is it that I really want? And are they at conflict with each other?
Mm-hmm.
If I want deep connections with people,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I want to keep people out to keep me safe.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah. I
trust
hear
them.
you.
Total conflict. The fear-based will win if it
Yeah.
doesn't get
Yeah.
nurtured and healed. So recognizing that there's still a small part that is, for whatever reason, and I picture it in my mind's eye as how it makes you feel very kind of vulnerable, like a child. You don't know what to do with
Mm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like that part of you hasn't matured,
Right. Yeah.
because that's how I see it. I see it as a child. I see it as a child who feels like, I don't know how to handle this. I don't know what to do with this level of affection. I don't know what to do with this compliment. It's too much. Like,
Yeah.
and that's just like possibly connected to an age, but it feels like an area of vulnerability through immaturity.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say
Mm-hmm.
that, I don't mean that to be derogatory or
Yeah.
immature.
Yeah.
I mean that part of you hasn't been allowed to mature. It's matured in a way where keep people out.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Like this archetype card I just pulled
Yep.
in the physical, in the root. Keep people out, keep people out. And the card I pulled for you is the child. And that's what I feel the energy of this sacral chakra is. It's a vulnerability that, and I don't know if you recognize this, but because of that vulnerability of accepting this this archetype was born.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
Can you see back in your timeline in your past where you might have been given compliments and maybe earlier than the relationship that you experienced, maybe even before then, or maybe it did stem from that, I don't know. But how have you ever accepted unadulterated compliments and affection?
From a child point of view, like going back,
Let's see, let's explore it.
I don't think it was common. I don't think
Okay,
it was.
didn't happen as
Yeah,
much. Yeah.
it just didn't really happen. Um, there was not maybe open open affection.
What about when you
Open,
were dancing and you were doing really well at dancing?
yeah.
How would you accept? compliments then?
That was fine. That felt fine. And I did it because I enjoyed doing it. There was, you know, I loved to dance, and the competitions, I was never the winner. I never won anything, but I always took part. It didn't stop me from taking part because I loved to do it. It was the process of the competitions that I loved, and you know, the outfits and
Yeah, yeah.
um
So if somebody had given you a compliment in that moment, Sam, you were amazing, you smashed it, you look fantastic, you're so good at this.
I mean, that did happen, you know, like, but it was almost given as a way of like, never mind, you didn't win. You know, like, you were still amazing, you were still great, even though you didn't win.
Mm.
Um,
And always an agenda with somebody's compliment,
yeah,
what you're saying. So
yeah,
can you
yeah,
see
like,
how that
yeah,
you see
yeah,
it, an agenda behind your motive here,
absolutely,
mate.
yeah,
What
yeah,
is it?
yeah.
Okay. How do we get rid of that?
Mm.
Just imagine, put yourself in a place right now where you are free from a belief that there's an agenda behind people's compliments, affection, love,
Mhm,
giving. Just imagine a scenario, might be hubby or family, where you're totally being showered with compliments. You might even be up on stage, something, you're receiving something, maybe it's a birthday, or somebody's just doing something really, really special for you. And maybe somebody's standing up and reading out a message to you about how they feel about you, and you're in the
mhm,
spotlight and you've got to take it. Just
mhm,
imagine receiving it and receiving all the eyes on you, all the love from all your family and friends that are there. They're all saying amazing things about you. You're nearly brought to tears because of the
mhm.
compliments that are being bestowed on you.
Yeah.
See yourself fully open to that grace and acceptance of receiving that. And not one part of you is reflecting back to them a hidden agenda in what they're saying.
Mhm.
What do you see?
I see me shrinking. Yeah. I see
So
me
see you.
like, "Ooh, let me go small."
So see you standing tall.
Mhm.
See you really strong and empowered. How do you want it to be?
Yeah. I want to allow so like when you said close to tears, I want to allow them to come. Like, just, if that's what I'm feeling, just allow it to happen rather than holding that back.
Because you're not actually aligned to your value of trust and honesty, because you're seeing all people as untrustworthy and dishonest.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. No, I don't disagree with you. There is that, like I say, there is that element of, like you say, there's a hidden agenda, or yeah, yeah.
So you have to look at you have to look at yourself in this. If you see other people like that, there's potentially a part of you that acts that way. And that's why you see it reflected back in other people, or you
Mhm.
perceive it's
Mhm.
reflected back in other people. There's a part of you that won't fully give to other people. You know, there's a part of you that might say things that you don't really mean. You know, you've got to address what this means to you. And first of all, you have to change that in yourself about ways that might be playing out in you and alive in you for whatever reason. Because when we release that in ourselves, we do not see
Mhm.
that in other people. Doesn't We only see in other people what's within us, unfortunately. And, you know, that can be a harsh pill to swallow, depending on what we
Yeah.
see out there in the world and in other people. I've just looked at the clock and it's 11:11. So it is a message for you to think, do I want to let this go? Or do I want to keep it? It's totally up to you and it's your call. Then you have to address, well, where does this play out in me? Where might I have hidden agendas in my relationships? Where might I be dishonest in my communication with others, or my affection, or what I
Yeah.
say, compliments? And that could be, again, getting a need met. You know, you don't want to say how you really feel because it might upset people. I don't know. But you have to address that. And then you change that in yourself.
But I think, and I think this is where, that's why I felt when I completed this, it felt very much like a throat thing, because
Yeah.
it's, for me, they're kind of, I know they're not, because they don't sit on top of each other, but for me they feel very interlinked.
It's expression. It's,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
totally,
Yeah. So if I was able to, and historically I know that speaking your truth, speaking my truth, and being able to speak what I feel in all areas has been an issue. And I am very aware of that. And there has been a lot of work that I have done up until this point to bring that awareness and change that. But it's interesting that that little bit is still sitting down there around not being fully open.
yeah. So how do you feel knowing that and having that awareness?
It makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. Um, and it is something I'd like to let go of, just even though it's not a massive issue, it is still there. Because I feel like it would only improve the other part of the expression, you know?
Absolutely. If you can imagine yourself, Sam, being super successful, and you've got all these women that you're helping, and they're going, "You're amazing, love you," and you're thinking, hidden agenda, motive, can't trust.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, but when you said that, I don't believe that to be true with, when I hear that from, it's just certain relationships, like, yeah, probably around men.
Yeah, because the thing with you is about the deep connections. So more
Yeah,
surface level connections you find easier,
yeah,
but there will come a point in your life where um it's not just about that. It could mature into, if you suddenly got catapulted into a crazy space with your work, and you had to be so open and vulnerable and on show and really reveal yourself, you know, this part of you, this fear-based stuff is going to kick in and be alive. And the best relationships are the deepest
yeah,
relationships that we can
yeah.
connect, because they're the ones that see us through.
And it's funny because the thing that I am bringing from the reason why I do what I do, or what I did, one of the values of that I want to keep in my new role is the connections.
Yeah,
It's like, that's the bit that lights me up.
yeah,
Like when it works, and it works well, and we both have that connection, it's amazing. It's fantastic. And it just like fills you up. It just, and you can see that in the people that you work with as well. So it's ironic that the thing that I want to keep is the thing that I'm deflecting, if you like.
yeah. It's fear-based belief. It's just
Mm.
programming that's still there, and we are working on the emotions, which are about you know, intimacy, deep connections with people. You know, it's good that it's come up, because again, once you're aware of something, you can see how you're playing it out and keeping it alive, and then you can change it, like you've
Yeah,
done with the root.
Yeah.
So I'll go through the cards that I picked for you. And this represents that energy that I was seeing about being able to receive. It's putting you into a state of childlike. And that was the card that came up for you now. And feeling that way can be lovely as well. It's not all like way bad. That's the physical self. So that kind of relates to that armor that you might wear. The emotional self is beautiful. I
Oh,
know, Mama Bear who's wise and a, you know, crown chakra open and third eye. So that can be reflective of that feminine wisdom that's coming through and that opening.
and the bears around by the feet. It's very nurturing. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love it. Now then, we've got the mental pillar, which is like the seeker. So it's like, oh, the explorer, what's going on? Like, I can really change my life. Tell me more, show me more. Spiritually, we've got that card.
Oh.
So spiritually, you could be feeling a little bit fatigued, as if, well, it could just mean that stuff is coming up for you to work through. So all
being shown like on that projector,
your life. And you know, when we first started this, you were like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, I can't deal with this anymore. But so spiritually, it could be about you kind of, well, what does that mean to you there in the
It's funny, the thing that I saw was the light, like lots is being shown, there's lots of stuff to be shown, but also there's a hatch with a like do not enter at the bottom, like the and immediately I want to go in there. I want to go, what's in there? I need to know what's in there. Versus just accepting that it's not, you're not allowed to go in there.
Well, I'm glad that you want to go in there because it says good memories on the door. So yeah, you have permission to go in there. Right. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to play you a little meditation. We're just going to see what comes up through the sacral chakra. While you're doing that, I'm going to use chakra alchemy. So it's me using the pendulum. I'll write down what I get and then we'll discuss it at the end. Okay. Right, now I need to try and be clever. Which never works out for me. Hang on. Just okay, Sam. So if you just want to get yourself into a nice relaxed state as we take you through the sacral chakra meditation, just make yourself really comfortable. Make sure you feel relaxed. And when you're ready, you can just close your eyes. Just start to take some nice, deep, meaningful breaths. Taking your attention to the heart center, letting that open and expand. And just taking any attention, any awareness from outside within now. Okay, so make yourself as comfortable as possible. Allow yourself to close your eyes and take your attention within. Taking nice deep breaths. Breathing into the heart, so the heart space becomes expansive and full of wonderful light. Allowing your body to become filled with this light. And as you become embraced by the light, you feel safe, supported, and nurtured
by this wonderful spiritual light. And just allow yourself to go deeper and deeper into this wonderful feeling within. And sensing a beautiful orange glow pulsating in the area just below your navel. As your sacral chakra starts to spin and glow. Visualize or sense this orange light spreading, flowing, like a gentle river to any part in your body where you're holding negative emotions. And feel the warmth of this orange light, cleansing, healing, simply washing away any negative emotions. See, feel, hear, sense. All of the negative emotions washing away as your lower abdomen feels cleansed, clear, and free. One of the most beautiful aspects of spiritual awakening is the discovery of one's own power. In each moment, we have a choice. We can choose to live differently by releasing what no longer serves us. When we release certain fears, beliefs, or negative behaviors, we create space for more joy, positivity, flow, and abundance to come in as its replacement. Take this opportunity to bring to mind all of the limiting beliefs, negative feelings, insecurities, and fears, along with any blocks that no longer serve you and are blocking your spiritual flow. And then imagine them being washed away, cleansed and dissolved, just as the tide will wash away anything that's lying on the shore. Just imagine anything that's been blocking your flow, cleansed and dissolved. As all the wonderful experiences, positive feelings, and opportunities you're going to create start to flood into your sacral chakra below your navel now. That's right. And just imagine a beautiful spiral of orange light filling the area below your navel, your sacral chakra, as you repeat the mantra to yourself. Today I'm ready for change. Today I am ready to let go. Today I am ready to trust, to see clearly, to love unconditionally, to walk my authentic path with the truth of who I am. Just taking some nice, slow, deep breaths, allowing that energy to penetrate from your head to the tips of your toes. And in a moment, I will count you back from 3 to 1, where you will open your eyes and feel wide awake. 3, starting to feel your back against the place where you rest. 2, wiggling your fingers and toes. And 1, opening your eyes, feeling refreshed and wide awake.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
What- Anything come up for you during that?
Only I could feel the tension. I could feel that I was physically holding my sacral area tight. So I allowed it to release and let go. And just to open fully, like that's all that kept coming up.
Did you feel you were able to open fully?
Yeah, once I let go of that physical, I could feel the physical, like in the tummy, in the, like just holding on, like it was tight physically. So yeah, I just relaxed.
Good. How
Once
did
I
it
relaxed.
feel to kind of open that area up even more?
Yeah, nice. I got my little shakes. Yeah, it just felt more relaxed, like there was more, the difference between holding on to, and then that just allowing it to be breathed away. Yeah, just more relaxing, more open, and that's when the open fully, like I allow myself to be fully open to receive, just kept playing out.
Lovely. So you know now, and maybe you'll be able to be aware of when you're tensing and holding on, because that little fear-based believe can be playing out, and you maybe, now that you've had that physical sensation, you know, you might be more aware of when it's there. What came up when I did the chakra alchemy system was a core issue of dependency, and that rings true from what you've just been saying. I don't need you. So that's a dependency issue. The core emotions that are there were three: humiliation and rejection and not wanted. And it's blocking forgiveness and relationships. It's releasing from partners. So it could well be where you said there's this thing wrapped around that old experience with that relationship that you're holding on to. And I do, yeah. So does that make sense to you, what's come up?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's playing out 80%. And the frequency of it is apathy. So it's like a place of like giving up, you know.
Wow. Well, it's giving up.
No, it's the vibration of it. The frequency of it is apathy. And it's playing a big part in your life.
80% is quite a big chunk.
It is. And it always will be, because it's come up, you know, it's come up for healing and releasing. If we're releasing it from partnerships, I know through different conversations we've had how that ties in.
Yeah.
But if it is releasing from this partnership, or maybe other partnerships too, you know that, can you see how the core issue of dependency, the emotion of humiliation, rejection and not wanted is there, and it's blocking your forgiveness and relationships now?
To a point. I wouldn't fully accept that, because I feel like there has been a major shift from where I was.
Yeah.
But I do accept it to a point.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to what I said about I can feel that it's a very small part that's still there.
Which bits?
The bits about, you know, the not allowing to receive because of that distrust, because of that I don't need you to be able to do whatever I need to do. I don't need your love, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's only the stuff that you're aware of consciously. So there's a lot going on in the background subconsciously that can be playing out because of that belief system in ways that we don't fully get until we've made the connection and we've totally changed the behavior. And when you've totally let go, because if stuff's still wrapped up in past stuff and you haven't fully been able to let it go, then it's still there and it's still playing out. Otherwise, you just wouldn't feel it and it wouldn't be playing out. So when you do totally move on from it and you look back and see the difference it's made in your life, possibly see the ways where actually that was a big part of the what was happening in my relationship situation. If it's still there, it's still there. So what we will do is we'll help to release it through raising the vibration of it. So at the minute, it's at a low vibration of apathy. So we're going to raise that. We're going to raise it to a level. So we're going to move it from a level of 50, which can even be, no, it's not there. We're going to raise it from a level of 50 to a level of 310. And that's a level of kind of willingness. So it's you willing to, however that comes up, the feeling that it brings up inside you, because we need to get you into that emotional state of willingness to let it go, willingness to move on from it, and willingness to see relationships in a different way, which is free from the lack of trust, lack of openness, and lack of honesty.
I think historically I can see totally why this has come up, because anything that's happened, it's like, and I don't know whether it's as a woman thing we do this, but or maybe it's just a me thing that I do this, but it's like anything that comes up in relationships, you're like, okay, well, fine, we've moved on, said sorry, whatever, that's it, we've moved on, but you file it for a later date.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I need to empty the filing cabinet, so I get it.
Ammunition, isn't it? It's like, nah. I'm still, forgive you, let's move on. Still,
I haven't really. I've just filed it away for later reference.
nothing's ever forgotten. Okay. So we're just now tuning into the colour, and you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just dousing for the right colour, and the colour's silver. So it's a desire to find meaning in your spiritual gifts, alchemy qualities. So alchemy qualities is what we're doing here. We're shifting from one state to the next. So one state we might call would be the feeling of apathy, which is like, "Ugh, I'm just not even trying, I've given up, it's whatever, it is the way it is and it can't be changed," to a level of willingness, which is like 7 times that frequency. And the willingness is the desire to change it. So it will be changed. I'm ready now. Show me what to do, and I'm going. So we're going to breathe in and breathe out the color silver. And the incantation we're going to do is to Neptune. So this is the crown chakra. So that actually ties in with the spiritual connection. So I will talk you through it. You repeat after me.
Okay.
All right, so let's just get yourself into one final relaxed meditative state. So this is going to conclude the session. So just imagine now, Sam, just focusing on the heart, making every breath count. And just breathing in, imagining when you breathe in, the most beautiful color silver floods your whole body. And as you breathe out, it just floods your auric field, so that energy field that surrounds you from head to toe, front and back, side to side. And just really set the intention now to do the work, because this is you breaking free from the programming by raising your vibrational frequency. So to let go of anything, you have to break out of that frequency that it's holding you, which is a pattern. So this silver is the desire to find meaning in your spiritual gifts, which we've discussed today, and it brings in alchemy qualities, which will transmute the negative holding pattern into the most positive frequency for you to go forward and make the changes you desire. So as you surround yourself in this silver bubble of light and frequency, we're going to say an invocation to Neptune, which is the ruler of our dreams. It's actually the ruler of water, so it's the ruler of our sacral chakra. So just repeat after me. I invoke the boundless spiritual truth of Neptune.
The boundless spiritual truth of Neptune.
Help me to dissolve.
Help me to dissolve
The negative patterns of my emotional life.
the negative patterns of my emotional life.
Releasing any negative emotions of dependency
any negative emotions of dependency
that are affecting my relationships,
that are affecting my relationships,
releasing this from past, present, future timelines,
releasing this from past, present, and future timelines,
and from any person or persons
and from any person or persons
this may affect or be attached to.
this may affect or be attached to.
And just take a nice deep breath in of silver and send it right into that sacral chakra. And just opening up that sacral chakra, just letting it be. Bring to me inspirational
Bring to me inspirational
and uplifting spiritual experiences
and uplifting experiences
so that I may more fully appreciate and connect to my true self.
and connect to my true self.
And now just raise your frequency to a place of willingness, a deep desire, a deep motivation, a real determination. Just open up your cellular DNA with that feeling, with that emotion. I am ready. And I am doing the work. And just see yourself now with the changes already taken place. Just see yourself in the future, a moment in time, just a snapshot of how life will be when you can have those deep connections with people, feeling fully open, open to receive, open to give. And all that is between you is honesty, total honesty, total loyalty, and total love. And see that level of trust from you to them. Pure. Okay, and just take another nice deep breath in, breathing out that colour silver, just sealing that all around your auric field. This stays with you now as you move forward. Okay. And just start to feel your feet against the floor, back against the chair. And when you're ready, Sam, just open your eyes. Okay, how was that for you?
Really nice.
Yeah.
I just love them anyway.
Yeah.
So I really go, really embrace them.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So let's just recap before we end the session. What's been the biggest insight or takeaway from today's session?
That I'm not living by my values of honesty and trust.
Okay.
And that I'm still holding on to that agenda around people, around receiving people's compliments, affection, praise.
And how do you see yourself now changing that status quo?
To be more open, to be fully open to receiving it, and not attaching an agenda to what is being given, not reflecting my agendas back.
What might be a positive belief statement as you go forward? There's something that's coming up for me around dependency and how you
Ooh.
perceive your, if you accept something, you think you're now dependent on them. There's something wrapped up in them and you and dependency.
Mm,
Because
yeah.
what you said earlier was when somebody like comes at you with something and you're like, well, thank you, but I don't need you. So there's
Yeah.
like, I am not, and you said, okay, it's brought up that way. You're dependent. Well, that is totally different to accepting love and compliments from people. The
Mm,
two are separate. But for you, it's a kind of connection around dependency and getting caught up in codependency. So how can you, does that resonate with you, first of all?
it does to a degree. It does to a degree. Like what you're receiving is conditional.
It's like if you allow yourself to receive it in its pure state, then for some reason you're then dependent on them for you to feel good. It's like you say, I don't
Mm,
need it.
yeah. Yeah. I'd say that's fair. Yeah. It does resonate to a degree.
So there's just something that is connected in the brain about fully accepting people and then a dependency. And you're like, no, I'm super dependent, therefore I am not fully
Yeah.
accepting what you're saying in its purity, because if I do, I'm
I
dependent
depend
on
on
you.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
What might be a nice positive affirmation or statement for you to use as we go forward with our sessions that can rewrite that fear around dependency or codependency?
I think I need to keep in there that opening fully, that I'm ready to receive fully, because that came up for me when I was doing the sacral meditation, and letting go of that. It's also almost for me as if the acceptance of what they're giving without any agenda.
Can I share what came up for me?
Yeah, please.
So I wrote down, I accept all that I am and all that you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
How would you reframe it, or what feels right for you?
I would probably add in the open fully. I am open fully to
Yeah,
receiving all that I am and all that you are. Because I feel like that opening fully
yeah,
removes that.
yeah. I think that is definitely something that you, how would you feel about doing that sacral meditation, because it's available to you in the course, if you listen to that as often as you could and tuned into that? So using the meditation, using that mantra that's in the meditation, well, the mantra that came to you actually,
Mm,
or even just using that as a meditation. You don't have to listen to the whole meditation. Maybe if you can just keep that in mind, put yourself back into the place of being through that meditation, tuning into the sacral chakra. How does it feel? Is it tight? Is it tense? And using that mantra that came to you, because that's super important, as a way to fully open the sacral chakra. So that can be a
yeah.
daily practice.
Yeah.
And then possibly,
Oh, I've lost.
Have you lost me?
I can see you, but I can only see, I'm like, you're like, it's gone, Zoom has gone. It's
Oh.
like a little tiny screen in the corner of my laptop. I can't see you anymore. It's weird.
Oh God. Okay. Don't worry.
Oh,
We're
there we are. You're back. I can see you now, but you're just small. You're small.
Pea head. And maybe just tuning into what feels right for you is do that, tuning into your sacral chakra as a daily practice, as many times as you like. And then also having an affirmation that you can use if that feels right, and just choose whatever feels right. But there's something around, I accept all that I am,
Yeah.
and I accept all that you are.
Yeah.
So with that, it's a complete acceptance for the truth of what is.
Mm.
There's no guessing hidden.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's I
Or something around giving and receiving. Like yeah, all that I am. Or yeah, I definitely think it's about opening fully to receive all that they are giving.
I don't just think it's no,
No.
that still has a slight agenda to it. That's not
Okay.
a fully open statement. It's an accepting of, it's got to be an equality. It's a I accept me and I
Yeah.
accept the other.
Yeah.
That's got to come into it. I'm just feeling that, like, it's really strong. It's got to be like, it's got to be a two-way thing. And I
Yeah.
know what you're saying
Yeah.
before is, but there's just still a slither of the agenda in there when you
Mm-hmm.
said that. It's got
Yeah.
to be more of, I accept me for all that I am, and whatever that is. Like, you accept every part of you, and I accept the other. If you
Mm-hmm.
accept yourself, you can accept another.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
might accept people who aren't totally honest. You might accept them because actually, there's, but it's an accepting, it's a understanding. It's not a fear-based belief that you've formed, because, it's just an accepting of all that is. There's a mantra, let me know what I can change and the things I can't, or something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
grace to know the difference. It's like, so something around total equality. I see you, you see me.
Yeah.
There's no judgment,
Yeah.
there's no defenses, there's no barriers. Two open souls seeing each other for what they are.
Yeah. No, that does make sense. Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave that with you. And
Yeah.
if you want to feed back to me or ask me anything on it, let me know, won't you?
I will do. I will do.
How are you feeling? You look a bit shell-shocked.
I'm a bit, as with all of this stuff, it's not the shell shocked bit, but I don't know. I just, like I say, it felt very different doing the workbook for this area, this energy source versus the other one. And I'm surprised. No, I'm not surprised, because it is there. Maybe I'm surprised you found it. Try to hide it.
What I'm sensing is there's a defensiveness. There's a fuck. And if I feel like you're going to get off this court and you're going to go, fucking hell, like, I thought I'd come somewhere. And
Yeah,
now
there is a part of that. There is a little bit, because not defensiveness, but I thought, like I say, because there was a definite feeling of difference between completing the two workbooks, and this felt very joyful and very fun and very, very different. But there's still something within this sacral chakra that is keeping me
and when
from.
we get to the heart,
Yeah.
it'll be there. And when we
Yeah.
get to, it'll be projecting out in everything that you do, because it's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And there's only so much that we can consciously be aware of. There's only so much in my shit and shadow that I can be consciously aware of. It's really difficult to see your own stuff. So I have to
Yeah.
go to other people to,
Yeah.
I say, show me my shit so I can
Yeah.
work on it. And we don't
Yeah.
like it. But I can't see it because it's the fish
Yeah.
in the water.
Yeah.
But when you work with someone else, that's what they do. They facilitate
Yeah.
and guide and show you the areas that you can't see. And that's a freaking gift. As
Yeah.
painful as it is, and I've sat there and really not liked stuff. And as painful as it is, and I've been thinking, oh my God, please, I don't want them to know this about me. When it's out on the table, that's a gift, because that's the stuff you need to change to have the life that you want, to fully
Yeah.
align. And you have to fully align to this process. So do not beat yourself up or think, oh, I thought I'd done really well and now I'm a failure, because that's what I feel could potentially happen with you. You're going to beat yourself
No,
up.
no, no,
You're
no,
gonna
definitely, no, definitely not. Because I know that this is, I'm in the growth mindset. Do you know what I mean? I
yeah,
want to be able to grow and expand and be this person that live to these goals and
yeah,
this
have
future
the
self.
relationships that you want, and the
Yeah,
relationship with yourself that you want. So see it and thank it for coming up.
yeah,
Thank you for presenting yourself to me today and show me how to work with you and to
yeah.
release you and let you go. And
Yeah, no,
remember,
that's a good reframe,
yeah,
definitely, because I was like, oh, okay, I thought I was all right in that area. So no, that is a good reframe but I wouldn't, yeah, there's no chance of it ever going into the, oh, I failed or whatever. No, it's
yeah,
only up, always up from here.
good. Do what feels right to you. If you want to
Yeah,
write it out, if you want to get creative, um, write a letter to that part of yourself or write a letter to the old relationship, to forgive. That might
yeah,
be a good one to do if you feel that you can do that, is to really forgive, to let it go, to burn it, to do a little fire ceremony with it. If it feels right, wash it away. But maybe that might be a good technique for you to do.
yeah,
It can even be a forgiveness letter to the self. I forgive you for holding on to all this stuff. I forgive you, Sam, for withholding on in relationships. I forgive you for allowing certain things in relationships. I forgive you for not speaking your truth when it was needed. All of that stuff can be really cathartic.
yeah,
So if forgiving the past relationships would be super good. You have
yeah,
to do it when you feel ready.
yeah,
Maybe it starts with forgiving the self, like I
yeah,
forgive you, Sam, and just maybe it's a connection to higher self and you write
yeah,
that letter.
yeah. Yeah, the gratitude letter that I did for the before, it was it was a game changer.
Yeah.
Seeing it was so, and I read it back to someone else, and something that had come up in between writing that letter, a situation had presented itself to me that I was toying with, and then I decided from a point of myself that I didn't want to pursue that opportunity. But I didn't understand why I'd come to that decision or how I'd come to that decision. And then I reread my gratitude letter
Mm,
out to this person. And within it, it was one of those was letting go of past relationships and past
mm,
experiences that don't serve you anymore. And I
mm.
was like, that is why I've made the decision to not pursue that, because I was doing it from a point of future self. So
Yeah.
it was a huge, huge game changer for me doing
Yeah,
that.
because if not in alignment with the future
Yeah,
self.
yeah,
The sacral chakra also represents our values. So that's probably why values have come up here today. Um, so I would definitely say now, because in that gratitude letter you said about letting go of the relationships and all that kind of stuff. Well, now it's time to really fully do that.
mm, mm,
It's tricky. I know it's tricky. What I'm saying sounds so simple. It's not. Believe me, I've had to fucking go through some weird fucking ceremonies and shit to try and release all of that. And it's not even like it's about the other person. It's never ever about the other person. They're
Yeah.
pretty irrelevant when in
Yeah.
a letting go process. It's
Yeah.
all about the self. That other person could be long gone, dead, buried. Could be 50 years that go by, but we still hang on to stuff. It's only ever about you and
Yeah.
your willingness and acceptance and real timing about letting it go. So if you're prepared to sit down, connect with the higher self, maybe bring in the silver color and really get into that emotional state, raise your vibrancy to willingness, and write a letter from the higher self to the human self, looking back on all the situations that have kept these issues in place, or the non-alignment to the values, the dependency, the this, that, and the other, and forgive yourself for it. Write down events if it feels right, but anything
Yeah.
that feels going to get it all out of my system,
Yeah.
every tiny last little bit, and
Yeah.
then do a little ceremony to release it.
Yeah.
All right, if you're up for that, let me know how you get on.
I will do. No, I will, because I will definitely write something, because that that fire for writing is reignited. So yeah.
So good to get it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Find a little ceremony to let it go. I mean, it could
Yeah.
be, I always light a candle when I'm doing energy work, but I've definitely in the past, I've written things down and I've burnt it
Yeah.
and I've
Yeah.
let it go, and it's just an
Yeah.
extra release.
Yeah. No, I that's what I was thinking, to write it and then put it in the ash box in the garden and see it go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Good. Good. All right. I'll let you go, lovely, and I'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You
See
too.
you soon.
Bye, love.
Bye. Bye. Bye.